Yes.
Flip man. It's the flip man. Flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Good afternoon. You see the title, and we're here today on our normal Q&A deal evaluation. But today we're going to be talking about before you get to a deal, you got to have something to evaluate. So you need to generate leads that turn into deals. Now, over the last 2 weeks, I think it's only been 2 weeks that we've presented this other option, very unique option to generate leads using AI. I'm still at this point blown away with it. We got some good stuff in motion, which you'll be hearing about soon. So we have the normal crew here. We have the real Chevy, we have Torian, but we also have Casey and Timothy from AutoLeads.ai. So most of the show will be about that. We'll be here to answer your questions. But just imagine that you're. I think I got everybody muted, my bad. Just imagine that anyone that's ever tried to generate leads, you know how difficult it can be, especially if you're cold calling. But the thing about that, though, it's one of the more effective ways at the same time to generate leads. Okay, so AI, if you don't know what it stands for, artificial intelligence. I guess you could basically say it's computers on steroids that do a lot of amazing tasks that will save us a lot of time. As in most cases, that's what technology does, right? It just makes things easier. Not going to do deals for you or anything, but it's just going to make things easier. So with that being said, just everyone, hello. All right, so we got a full panel here, and I will take questions here in a minute, but so we'll get right into it to explain what we're here to talk about. But it's all about lead generation, the magic sauce. There's no magic wand that I wave or any else wave, Chevy or Torian, anyone. If we don't generate daily leads, we will not do deals consistently, for sure. So that's what we're here to try to solve today. So let's get into it. How's it going, guys?
Doing great.
What up? What up? What up? That's my Martin voice.
Nailed it.
Love it.
We're in the building, man. AI is there's auto leads, man. It's like having 100 VAs in one room making these calls, man. It's ridiculous. I'm talking. We ran now like 3 different campaigns, Ty.
Yeah.
Well, 3 different markets. But we ran like 7 or 8 campaigns, but 3 different markets. But we've generated right at probably like 100 leads now, right? Just combined.
Well, it's actually more if you include mine. It's more than that.
Okay, so just combined, yeah.
It's close to about 200 actually with everything.
Yeah. So it's no different than a VA saying, "Hey, I got a lead for you." We call the seller, and the seller's like, "Hey, man, I didn't tell that VA I was interested in selling, right?" So it's just so much more people to talk to. I love it. I freaking love it, man. I love it.
Opportunities in the conversations, right? And so the more opportunity we can have to have conversations with motivated sellers, the more opportunity we have to close deals. And so that's why we exist at AutoLeads, right? We just want to be able to take the scalability of AI. Think about, we're doing up to 144,000 calls an hour. That's up to 1.7 million phone calls every single day, 7 days a week. Like, we're ripping it. And so if you want to have that cutting edge in your market, you can have it now with auto leads. You don't have to spend endless hours on the phone just to get hung up on and be told to F off and just all these horrible experiences on the phone. So much negativity in the world out there when you start picking up the phone and trying to just buy people's homes. I mean, it's ridiculous how much negativity is there. And so what we decided is we needed a better solution for that. And what better way to do it in 2024 than the power of AI? And so now, instead of having to employ an entire multi-story building full of people at desks like a call center, you've got that very power in the palm of your hand on your phone with auto leads. And so it really allows any investor to play the game at a much higher level, at a level that previously only the big wigs could do, right? Only the big guys out there that could afford all of that staffing would have the ability to generate this kind of lead count. And now anybody can, right?
Well, yeah, and one of the things I want to add, and Chevy can expound on it a little more because he's the one dealing with it. But like one of the, but she's a student also, but she's probably in here right now, Sharon up in the Chicago area, and just tell them about that one particular lead that was generated.
The lead itself was from a tire landlord who had right at 46 different properties that he's interested in selling. So, we've made offered on well over half of those, and we're just waiting to hear back so we could put them on a contract. And the conversation was very simple because the AI auto leads already had the conversation with the seller. All we had to do was just follow up and say, "Hey, look, you talked to the assistant Jeff, Jerry, just wanted to clarify a few things." And even with the seller being blunt and aggressive, it still was a smooth conversation because we didn't have to go through that beginning stages of just the aggression, right? We came in when it's more so, okay, so I already talked to your assistant. What do y'all want? We just want to know what properties you have. Like, send them over so we can make offers.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I'll send the email. What's your email? Here go the email. Send the properties. And it's just so crazy where a lot of times when you call seller, that initial conversation can be the most forceful one, right? Because you got to smile, you got to dial, and you got to pretend like you like them. And then, but now you go through these leads, and you're verifying these different leads, man. It makes it so much simpler to have those conversations because you're now essentially just doing a follow-up call and just saying, hey, look, I know you spoke to my assistant, just wanted to verify some information and see how can we make this thing work for both of us. Simple, man. It's so crazy.
Love it.
Well, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. So if you could, you want to share your screens, Tim? Well, let's do a little backstory first, and then we can go into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of talked about that a little bit, right? With just how things started with us. And Casey can kind of speak to this, and you don't have to pull that up just yet, Ty. I was just getting it ready for us. But yeah, kind of how things started was, we were investors ourselves, just trying to play this game at a level that we weren't able to previously. We started to go out there and use the tools that are available, and there was a lot of friction there. It's kind of overcomplicated, and then not to mention, right, Casey, like these phone calls are not fun. Hiring and firing VAs, just not a fun time. And so we came up with the idea that what if we could just automate this with AI to really do the heavy lifting for us. And so we set out to do that, and here we are a year later. We started in September, late August of 2023. We went into our alpha program in December, beta program in January, and launched fully to the public in April. And so just had massive success for our users, which is our biggest motivation, is that our users are finding these deals and that the process of investing is more simple for them, right? We want to be able to give you guys time freedom so that you're not out there having to spend and waste time, training, hiring and firing VAs. You're not out there manually making these calls. You can just click a few buttons, have our AI do all this work for you. And you go out, get out there on the golf course, hang out with your family, go to the movies, do whatever you want to do. So that way, when you actually have the time to pick up the phone and make calls, you're only talking to people that are interested in selling their house, right? That initial filtration of all of your prospects are done. And so we set out to do that. And we're really proud of the fact that we are the first ever conversational AI that was built for real estate investors by real estate investors, plugged into a full data platform. We'll tell you all about it. We'll show you more. You're going to get to see everything. But the first thing that everybody always wants to know is, what does it sound like? Yeah. Right? What does this AI actually sound like on the calls? Does it actually sound like a human? Because everybody's been on TikTok, right? We've all been scrolling through our phones and we hear that voice that is AI, right? And that is absolutely not what Auto Leads is. We've spent just a ridiculous amount of hours training our AI to be conversational, to have, even to the point of, taking breaths and pauses and saying, like just hesitations, things that are natural to us in conversations. It's doing as well. So everybody always initially says, hey, can I hear it? I'm sure you guys want to hear it as well. So we want to just start off today just letting you hear that, right? So Ty, if you'd bring that up for me, we've got an audio sample here of a call that happened with, one of our users. This is a real call. The AI is the male in the conversation. The female is a prospect. And so I'm going to play this, and fingers crossed all the audio comes through. Let me know if you can hear this okay.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Jamil. I'm looking to speak to the owner of 3121 West Oakland Avenue.
You're speaking to her?
Fantastic. Just reaching out because I'm with a local home buyer and would really love to make you an offer on the property if you're open to it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Great. Before we get into the offer, let me ask you 3 quick questions so we can make you the best offer possible. First off, aside from getting the right price for the property, why would you be looking to sell it?
Well, maybe downsizing. It's getting hard to keep up the maintenance on the property.
Got it. Downsizing because of the maintenance. Can you tell me a bit more about what's making the maintenance tough?
Well, just getting a little bit older. I just need some repairs done to it, and I'm not able to do it anymore.
Makes total sense, as we all reach that point eventually. Now, moving on, can you tell me about the condition of the property? Is it in good shape or does it have some issues?
It's in good shape. It just needs a couple things done. The bathrooms need updating, and 2 out of the 3 bathrooms need updating, and some minor repair in the sunroom ceiling.
All right. It sounds like it's mostly in good condition except for the bathroom updates and that sunroom ceiling. When was the last time the kitchen got an update?
The kitchen, it was about probably 2001.
Oh, okay. So it's been a while. Moving on. What would be the least amount you'd want to walk away with, price-wise?
I might be willing. Let's see, maybe 325,000.
325,000. Got it. Just to check, is that the lowest you could go?
I might be willing to take 320.
320,000. All right. If we could agree on a price, how soon would you be looking to sell? A few weeks or a few months?
Oh, I could probably sell it within 30 days.
Cool. And one more thing. How many bedrooms and bathrooms does the property have?
It has 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms.
Perfect. 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Thanks a lot for sharing all of that with me. I'll run some numbers. And if everything makes sense, my partner will be giving you a call back soon. Have a great day and bye now.
So let me know in the chat right now if that was to call you. I mean, you'd probably be convinced that was a human, right? Like the realisticness of the voice, how it navigates conversations, how it prompted for more information, right? It doesn't just say like, oh, well, what kind of, I really like the line where it mentioned, the homeowner was like, I just couldn't keep up with the maintenance. The AI didn't just leave it at that, right? It said, oh, well, what's making that difficult, right? And like, I don't know that on the call, I would have thought to say that. I would have just been like, oh yeah, sorry to hear that, and then just moving on. But the AI thought, whoa, I could probably get some information here about the condition of the property, right? And so that's where we got prompted there with what needs updating. The bathrooms need updating, minor repair needing that sunroom ceiling. And you can see here on the screen, there's an AI summary, and that's actually passed over to you. So after the AI has this conversation, it summarizes everything that happened on that call and then gives this to you as part of what we call a smart lead summary. It's passed right over to our built-in CRM on the platform. Additionally, if you've got an external CRM, we've got webhooks that'll shoot all this out there and synchronize to the CRM system that you're using. But yeah, just a huge innovation, right? With conversational AI to be able to meet these different objectives. On our calls, we set out to identify a few key things, right? We want to identify that we're speaking with the decision maker, the property owner. We want to find out, are you actually interested in selling your home or property? What's the timeline for that sale? Is it now or sometime in the future? What's the condition of the property? And as you just heard, not just like, oh, it's in good shape or needs some work, but like, what kind of work does it need? What kind of repairs, so that as you're creating those offers, you're able to calculate, the proper ARV, the proper, investment that you're going to have to make there. Additionally, we go on to ask about the asking price, right? How much are you looking to get for the property? And just how you heard, we go on to negotiate that a little bit for you. And the AI is trained to know just how far to push that conversation without ever compromising anything for you. So yeah, be able to negotiate that price down before you even do a follow-up call. The AI is working for you to save you money right there off the asking price, right? And then it wraps up the call by verifying the bed and bath count if there's a property there, right? Which is really helpful for those non-disclosure states. And then our ending is actually different now than what you just heard. We pushed an update just a couple weeks ago. So the ending now actually says, hey, thanks so much for taking the time to speak to me today. I'm going to run some numbers and have my partner reach out to you. But in the meantime, if you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach us at, and it'll say like, you can reach Ty's Real Estate at 555-123-4567. Again, that's 555. And it's a number that you're giving. Your company name and your callback number is left at the end of that call. So that way, if the prospect is really motivated and they don't want to wait for you to call them back to make that offer, hey, they can call you and reach out to you. And what's better than having a phone call from somebody wanting to sell their house directly to you without you ever having to talk to them up until that point, right? That's crazy. So really, really cool opportunities there for you guys. I wanted to point out that this is actually our website, autoleads.ai. So you can visit this at any time. You can see it right here on the top left, autoleads, OTTOLEADS.ai. And you can just scroll down to the second section of our site, Meet Auto. We've got 2 other call samples here. So if you want to hear additional calls, you can do that. So that's kind of how the AI sounds. I want to talk to you more about the platform itself, but really what all is happening on these calls, right? And I am going to have to just stop sharing and redo this real quick so I can give you the right screen, Ty, so if you'll help me out with that. But let's take a look at the campaign view here to see how the AI classifies every single call, right? Not just calls that are identified as leads, but no matter what the outcome is on a call, the AI classifies that. And before we get into this, really quick, if you've got questions as we're going through this, please drop them in the chat. We're in the chat. We're answering those. We're also going to have a question time here at the end, and I'll address all of that. I see there's a few questions there about compliance and how leads are handled. Happy to answer all of that here in a few moments. So anytime during this, if you see something, oh man, what is this? I've got a question. Comment, and we'll definitely take care of all that. All right, we want to hear from you. We're interactive here at Auto Leads. We like to have a conversation. So back to the AI and the campaigns themselves, right? So what's going on every call, even if it's not generated as a lead, and how we define lead, by the way, is someone who's actually saying, I'm interested in selling my property, right? Let's get that out of the gate, right? A lot of people qualify a lead as that, anybody out there. But what we say a lead is like a warm lead, someone who's we've already had a conversation with and who's ready for a further conversation with you to close the deal, right? So on this campaign, for example, right here, this Little Rock, Arkansas, I like to use this one as a great example. On this particular one, we did 6,400 calls, right? And so we break those down. We had 25 folks out of that list that DNC. They said, hey, don't call me back. Take me off your list. I'm not interested, right? And so platform-wide, we never call that number again, right? As part of compliance, if they opt out, that's it. Disconnected numbers, those are numbers that are no longer in service. We have a skip trace built into our platform that's highly accurate. And so, but we do 2 numbers. I'll talk about that a little bit more here in a moment. But some of these numbers are disconnected or no longer in service. So we're trying another number to reach that prospect. Then we've got wrong numbers, right? People that just said, hey, maybe that's a renter or somebody previously associated with the address, but not the property owner. We've got dead deals. There's just no opportunity here, right? This is what the AIs have had a conversation, and that prospect has said, no, I'm going to keep this property in my family for 1,000 generations, right? There's really not much opportunity there. There's hangups, anybody's at any time during the pitch, they've just hung the phone up, right? That goes into this category. 3,500 voicemails. Now, currently we don't leave voicemails, but we do allow a retargeting of this, right? And so what I want to talk to you about is how we continue to reach out to these folks who didn't answer, but also the ability for you to download these specific lists and be able to retarget. So one of the features that we just brought to the platform is not only the metric here, you're not only looking at a KPI, it's not just a stat. You can actually download these individual lists of, this would be 151 property owners, phone numbers, and addresses that you could go in and retarget, right? Like maybe you want to manually dial some of these folks to see if there's a conversation still to be had, or maybe you want to take these voicemails, download this list, bring it back into the platform for the AI to keep trying to call and have conversations. There are lots of ways to get the most value out of your data, right? Let's click in here to the campaign details page, and that brings us just a lot more information about this specific campaign. You can see we did 6,400 total calls, right? But out of that, we had 625 conversations. And so those are folks that we actually connected with. And the beauty of this, right, is that if you're used to multi-line dialers or 3-line dialers, anything like that, you know that if you're on the phone and one or more people pick up, you can only have a conversation with one person at a time, right? And so those other calls usually are forwarded to some message or a voicemail or something like that. But in my mind, that's a dropped opportunity. That's a missed opportunity, because in that moment, that prospect picked up the phone. Maybe next time you call, they're not going to pick up the phone, right? And so it's really important to capitalize on the opportunities when the phone is answered. And so you lose those missed opportunities on multi-line dialers, they're just dropped. But with AI, we have simultaneous conversations. So this 625 conversations that happened on this particular campaign, over 200 of these conversations happened at exactly the same time, right? And so again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, prior to auto leads and the power of AI, you'd have to have 200 trained employees sitting on a phone to be able to have the same results as AI able to do that simultaneously. Obviously, that's a significant reduction in cost, right? Because to pay a payroll for 200 people, that's a big lift, right? That's a big budget. To pay AI is a whole lot more affordable, right? So just to go on with this, we've got multiple conversations, right? We've got some questions coming in the chat. Please keep them going. We're going to come back to those here at the end. We'll cover costs and all that, but just know it's really an affordable option for everyone, right? And so coming in here to conversations, we've had these multiple simultaneous conversations happening at once. We also had 3,500 voicemails that were hit. So how do we retarget folks when they don't answer the phone on the very first try? Well, with auto leads, we have a system. It's just a 3-2-1 formula, basically, right? So for every one property address or record that we're calling here, as part of the process for us, we skip trace and find 2 of the most accurate phone numbers, right? For each one of those 2 phone numbers, we make 3 call attempts on each one of them to connect with that prospect. So that means for every 1 property address, we're making up to 6 phone call attempts to reach them. Now, remember I said we can do up to 144,000 calls an hour? That means we could complete those 6 attempts really quickly, within a matter of seconds or minutes for most campaigns, right? But that's not going to be the best connectivity rate. So what we created was a proprietary system that actually delegates these calls out over the course of 3 days, right? So what happens is on the first day of your campaign, we make a call attempt in the morning. On the second day, we make a call attempt in the afternoon. And on the third day, we make a call attempt in the evening. That way, if somebody's working at night, we're calling them in the morning. If they're going to school in the morning or the afternoon, we're calling them at night. Whatever the scenario is, we're really maximizing our connectivity rates by spreading it out over 3 days. So no matter if you've got 300 records or 300,000, it doesn't matter. We're going to complete that campaign in just 3 days, right? So that means it gives you a massive cutting edge. Because think about prior to this, on our base package of 5,000 property records, which I'll talk about here in a second, how long would it take you to dial 5,000 property records up to 30,000 times, right? Because if you do the math on those 3 call attempts on 2 phone numbers for each 1 property record, we're going to be making up to 30,000 phone calls for you. So I don't know how long it will take you to make 30,000 calls, but I'm guessing several weeks, probably close to a month, right? And so with that, it could take you, by the time you get to the bottom of that list, say you pull your fresh data today, a month from now, when you're finally making those final calls at the bottom of the list, there's a really good chance that other investors have come in and made phone calls on those same leads, right? Because it's a competitive market and homeowners are getting a dozen calls every day about their property. So there's a good chance that a competitor in your market has come in and made those calls, maybe even gotten that under contract already. But with AI, what if instead of taking it a month to get to the bottom of that list, it's actually completed in just 3 days. So in 3 days, you've extracted all of the interested sellers out of that entire list. And now you're having those conversations, which means you're getting in front of the competition in your market to make your offer more appealing and hopefully to be able to close more deals from that, right? So just really powerful to be able to think about that, just the scalability, right? The other thing I wanted to talk about was with multi-line dialers that I mentioned and dropped opportunities, it's also a headache to manage phone numbers, right? You've got to make sure you're purchasing phone numbers, make sure they're registered, make sure that they're not marked as spam. It's a headache, right? So as a part of your subscription with our AI caller, we handle all of that for you, right? So that means we're making sure that you're getting really local numbers. That's a big thing that we strive for, is that inside of your campaign, we actually do area code matching. And so for each of your campaigns, we're actually giving you a new phone number that's area code matched to the majority of the area codes that you're calling. So if you're working in a particular market, we're going to be using a local area code for that market to make the calls. Additionally, every attempt gets a new phone number. So it's not like you just get one number for your account. Every campaign, every attempt of the campaign gets a new number. So you're getting a number on day 1, day 2, and day 3 of each of your campaigns that's area code matched to be a local number and spam monitored. So if any time a carrier says, oh, this is looking like spam, we swap that out. That way, every time somebody's picking up a phone, it's a local phone number that's not spam. And that paired with our proprietary system of spanning over 3 days means that our connectivity rates are truly phenomenal with auto leads, right? So it's extremely powerful because what we talked about earlier, connections is what leads to deals. So the more conversations you can have, the more opportunities you have to close deals and get contracts, right? So that's sort of an overview of the power of AI, excuse me, on the platform. Pardon me, sorry about that. But we've got a lot more to show just on the data side, but I would love to hear from Ty, right? Come back in here, Ty. Give me some feedback about how you've been using this and how your success, how you've run campaigns, maybe some of that sauce that you've got going on over there about how you're seeing some success, right?
All right. Well, one thing, while you still got the screen up, if you want to share that again, did you show the leads?
As far as the lead manager?
Yeah, the lead manager. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't yet. No, that's a great.
That's the part. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the AI has that conversation, we just bring that lead into our CRM, right? We've got a built-in one right here on the platform, just kind of a basic, simple version of a CRM to kind of meet all of those needs to interact with your leads. If you have a system already in place, you're working with a team, you've got an external CRM, we've got a webhook integration that will just, as soon as a lead is identified with auto leads, it'll shoot out to your external CRM. But if you're looking to just use the platform version, it's right here. And so what this is just, you've got your lead, your name, your address, your phone number, the smart lead summary that we spoke about earlier, right? When you heard that call, you saw the smart lead summary that comes through identifying all of the different directives that we've got for that call. You've got the ability to come in here and take some custom notes as well. So if you're working a lead, you need to be reminded that, I need to, book a contractor or do a follow-up or whatever that might be. You can type that in and post it. That way you can keep track of what's going on in the conversation. And also you've got custom statuses like, is this a new lead? Have I sent the contract? Is it in contract? Just different ways to help you manage those leads, right? So that's what happens when those leads start coming in. We've got a lot of questions coming up about, can the person tell it's a robot? I would say most of the time, 80 to 85% of the time, nobody really knows that it's an AI. They just get real chit chatty, right? They just start having a conversation about, why are you looking to sell my favorite? My favorite is talking to folks in the Florida market, because there's folks that are like, oh yeah, why are you looking to sell? Well, I'm looking to move down to Florida and retire, and the AI will have a conversation. Maybe that person's telling them about their grandkids, right? Oh yeah, I've got this kid playing sports. You know how those conversations go. The ones that like you can never interrupt to get in there to get what you're offering, because they're just telling you about their family tree and all the sports that the grandchildren are playing. Everybody's been on those calls, right? And so the AI just perfectly navigates that. Oh yeah, Florida's great this time of year. Oh, it's so happy for your grandchildren. I'm sure they're going to do great in their soccer season this year. But hey, getting back to that house that we were talking about, and it just perfectly navigates that right back around. And so you can always see those kind of highlights as well in the smart lead summaries. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, just to chime in a little bit, I always tell people, look, a motivated seller, they don't care if you're AI, if you if you speak English, no English. A motivated seller is a motivated seller. That means they're just happy to know that you want to buy their property. So they're gonna give you whatever information you need, plain and simple. And that's the key to the game, is finding motivated sellers.
Yeah. This just speeds that process up. If you can generating 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 leads in a 3-day span, that's a lot. Like while he was talking, that's why I didn't know if he had shared the lead part of it, because I was trying to analyze some leads. It's a good problem, but it's a problem because there's too many in here. So I'm trying to, they're land, so it's a little different than houses. I can pop those out like that, but land is a little different. It takes a little bit more research on it. So, but anyway, but again, that's a good problem. I'm not complaining about it.
That's a great problem. That's the kind of problem we want, right? I've got too many leads. I don't know what to do with them. I mean, that's the problem we're trying to create. Exactly. We've got a lot of questions about pricing. I don't know
you're on mute. You have to take yourself off mute.
Me?
No, sorry.
I was talking and I didn't know I was muted, but I did love a part as far as the AI. There was a young the gentleman, I guess his dad had died, and the AI actually spoke to that and was really empathetic to that person. I thought that was amazing. That the AI can actually be programmed to do that. So.
Because I mean, real estate is about relationships, right? It's not just about the connections, not just about the contracts. It's about building up rapport with that prospect. Because when you have rapport with someone, they're more likely to go with you on a deal, right? And so we spent a lot of time, like literally thousands of hours, training this AI in all kinds of ways, right? Not just about real estate conversations, but exactly that. Like we really want to match the tone of the person that's speaking. So if they're excited about something, the AI is going to be excited about it. If they just had a grief that they experienced, the AI is going to be sympathetic towards that as well, right? And really, we think that helps build rapport, and hopefully that was also passed through to the smart lead summary, right? Because then you were able to follow up on that call and maybe even reference that, right? Like, oh man, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. Deepest condolences. Is there anything in this time that we can help you, especially if that's a probate lead, right? Like, hey, is there a way that we can help you walk through this process, right?
And with the smart lead summary, it's so like on point. Just the information that they gather from the conversation, that it makes it simple and easy to call the seller. Sometimes I was just making sure that the seller actually wanted what they was asking, because the AI was able to pull that asking price out of them. And a lot of times that's also one of the hangups that people get when it comes to venturing into this space, is that they don't really know how to ask the seller, how much do you want for your property? What's your asking price? Where it's just, you just have to be consistent when it comes to just asking that information. And then, seeing that, the transcript would say, hey, seller did not disclose what they want. And now just following up and really extracting that information, it really makes it simple and easy on my part because it's now I just understand, hey, there was enough rapport built. I just have to call and build some rapport and then figure out what's really going on with the seller.
Yeah. I mean, and it's perfect because, we make mistakes, right? I mean, how many times have you hung up the call with a prospect and been like, oh, dang, I meant to ask him blank, right? Oh, I forgot to ask him about this. And because, sometimes things slip our mind. Sometimes somebody will say something to us in a way that maybe we didn't quite take it the right way, it gets under our skin a little bit. Maybe that starts to affect our replies to them. Whatever it is, like, there's a lot of variables with us when we get on the phone. But with AI, it never has an off day. It's never late. It doesn't call in sick, right? Like, it doesn't allow people to get under its skin. It just always perfectly navigates things. And that can really be a leg up, because like you said, the smart lead summary is so accurate because it always nails all of its objectives. Like, it's not going to hang up the phone unless it's gotten what it's supposed to get, right? So really cool.
Yeah, and then some of the conversations where, when I'm calling the seller and the seller's like, well, I already told the guy that, right? So my wife was like, hey, look, you need to just say, hey, Jerry is brand new at this, and I'm just following up to make sure I got the right information.
That's a great tip, honestly. Like, we've used that quite a few times of like, I've just got to, you spoke to Jerry earlier, he's new in the office, how did he do? Like, you could ask that, right? And most time people will give you feedback like he's your real employee. They have no idea that it's AI, right? But that's a great way to bridge that gap and to verify the info. Really smart.
It's a great icebreaker just to get back in there. And a lot of times people don't like to bash somebody, right? So when you start off the conversation like that, their sales guard now even come down even further, because now they're sympathetic to that individual, but they don't know it's AI, right? But they're sympathetic to it. Yeah. So now it makes for even a better conversation when you're doing the follow-up. So it's incredible, man.
Awesome. Love that. Well, keeping going with what we've got to offer here, I'd love to show you kind of the other side of the platform as well. Ty, is this a good time for that?
Oh yeah.
Let's talk through it. So we've got this AI that makes all these phone calls for you. It's having the conversation. It sounds like a human, all of that, right? But where do we get the numbers for this AI to go out and start working for you, right? We've got to feed it numbers to be able to have it call, right? So what we did was we set out to build a data platform around the AI, right? And so with auto leads, everything kind of starts here at property search. And so if you've seen data platforms before, you're probably looking at something that looks familiar, right? We do think that ours is a little more user-friendly. We do like how we've built it out here, a little biased maybe. But yeah, so everything starts right here at property search. And this is where we had a question in the chat, like, are leads, given out? Are they just do we go qualify these leads and then send them out to a bunch of people? No, leads are unique to you because they're sourced from data that you bring to the platform, either purchasing it here with us, or you have the option to upload lists. So if you've got a skip trace provider or a data platform that you're comfortable using, or that you've got a wallet balance on or something, you're more than welcome to bring lists to the platform of auto leads, as long as they're skip traced, and our AI would start calling them. But here we've also built our own that's highly accurate, both in the data and in the skip trace, because that's really what is missed a lot of times. A lot of people say, I just need to get the cheapest data that I can find because I'm trying to save some money. And in reality, data is the key to the success of the deal, because if your data is good, if your skip tracing is accurate, that means the AI can do its best work for you. But if we skimp on that, then that means we're having a lot of missed connections, a lot of wrong numbers, a lot of disconnected numbers, all of that. And so we're trying to avoid that by creating a platform that's highly accurate, right? So coming in here, just a really quick demo would be, you just pick a market, right? So let's go for, I'll just go with Nashville, right? I'm in Tennessee. So let's take a look at Nashville. If we come in here, you can search by cities, counties, neighborhoods, streets, like literally anything. You can just type in there. But one of the ways that we suggest starting is coming into your market and then using our custom draw tool. Because right now we're only looking at folks or properties that are inside the city limits of Nashville. But what this allows us to do is maybe we're just wanting to target this little stretch between Hermitage and Mount Juliet, right? I can draw custom shapes. Maybe I also want to grab Forest Hills. That's kind of popping off right now. Whatever it is, you can draw multiple custom shapes. For this demo, I'll just do, another large circle here. So you can see inside of these shapes, you've got 109,000 property records. And then from here, we start just narrowing things down. For example, maybe I'm looking for only off-market properties. Maybe I'm looking for single and multifamily homes. We also have land as a filter. I know that's a really important area that we're looking to explore here. More details on that in a moment. But also we come into the advanced filter. This is where you see all of those custom filters that really help you find motivated sellers, right? You're looking for pain points. You're looking for maybe you want certain a lot size. Maybe it's a land that you're trying to target that's only a certain size. Maybe you're looking for leads that are in pre-foreclosure status or are in an active auction state. Ownership, that's a great one that I like to go with, right? Like, what if you're just looking for individually owned properties that are vacant, right? Maybe now we're looking at some tired landlords, perhaps, right? So now we're down to 726. We've already narrowed that filter all the way down, right? But just to show you some other options, there's absentee owners, there's tax liens, valuation and equity. Maybe you're looking for only properties that are valued at a certain amount, right? Or that have a certain amount of equity in them. Mortgage info. Maybe you want only free and clear or stuff that only has, 80% of the mortgage is already paid for or whatever that might be. Cash buyers. This isn't necessarily to locate motivated sellers. This is actually a tool to use to find and build your buyers list. So if you come in here, you can search for properties that were purchased with cash or properties that are owned by people who have a specific portfolio value. This is where not the AI, but you could actually pull a list of people in your area and call them and say, hey, I noticed you bought some property, here we're on our example in Mount Juliet, right? If we saw you were just recently bought some property here, hey, I'm an investor in the area. I've got some properties under contract. If you're a wholesaler, just wanted to see if it might fit your buy box. And then bam, you've got your buyers list being built out there. And then additionally, we've got demographics, right? Things like probate, inheritance, household income, all kinds of ways to just target pain points for sellers, right? Because we're trying to find motivation. Once your list is kind of niched down a bit, you can see some of these examples here on the right-hand side of the properties that we're looking at. If we come in here and just click on any of them, it'll open up a new tab, which I believe, is that still being shared? You guys see it? Nope. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. This is our property details page, right? And so on this, you have everything built in to give you all the information you'd want about the property. Now, one of the things that we noticed as an investor is there's a lot of tabs open when you're working a deal, right? If you're familiar with the process, you've got at least 15, 20 or more browser windows open, right? And so when we were developing the platform, we took note to say, yeah, if we have to open up a new tab, we want to pull that into the platform. And so right here, this isn't just an image of the property. This is Google Maps built right in. So we can do a 360 view here. Take a look at this corner lot of this multifamily. This looks like a great property. Additionally, we can come right here with this guy, and now we're in Street View. So it's like we've literally just drove up to the property digitally. Now, if you're investing remote, this is huge because you don't have the option to come and take a drive around the community, right? But now you can. Right here on the property details page, you can see it looks like, man, we've got some development that's been happening just on this block. There's been quite a facelift, right? That's going to affect your value, your evaluation. So anyway, just some really good, useful tools right there. Going on down, you've got some high-level information about the property. How much is the mortgage status, equity, estimated value. You also have FMR. So if you're doing Section 8, You know, you don't have to open up another tab and go find the HUD, find the county, find the zip code, all of that. We pull it right in here for you to estimate that. And then if this was a lead for you, you'd see your contact information here, those phone numbers. But as part of your subscription to General Access, you actually get 250 free single skip traces. So if you needed to go find the information for a property, type in an address, maybe you're driving for dollars or you had a lead, you could come in here and do that for free as part of your subscription. We also want to equip you on property details page with just as much tools as we can, right? It's all about having the right ammunition to close the deal, the right tool for the job, right? And so with these, we have a lot of calculators. So we've got the wholesale calculator, the amortization calculator, a lot of different options. So if you're looking to be if you're doing wholesaling, you need to calculate your ARV, your cost of repairs, your assignment fee, your desired profit margin, and then bam, we'll give you the max allowable offer that you can have for that property. The amortization schedule. Let's say you're getting creative with a deal and you need to do an AM table and find out the payments monthly for a certain balloon period. You can do that here and we'll tell you the monthly payment. Additionally, we have a creative finance calculator. This is really cool because anybody can actually access this at any time. You don't even have to have an account with us. And so in the chat, we're going to drop the link to this even now. And so you can check out that link. I think Sergio or Casey will drop that in there, but it's autoleads.ai/creative-calculator. And again, anybody can use this tool. So as you're working deals and starting to do the process, even if you're not a current subscriber of AutoLeads, you're welcome to use this resource. You just by punching in some basic numbers does all the math for you. All you do is go find out this information either from the property details page or that conversation you're having with the prospect, plug it in here, and we're going to give you all of the deal stats. So I won't go through all of this, but really quick, the total purchase price, your down payment, home inspection fees. If you're doing seller finance, you can put in your balloon period, your interest rates. Subject to, if you're looking to take over the debt, right, you can put in that mortgage payment, the current mortgage payment every month, and then the mortgage balance, the interest rate. Here you're going to be able to project, I want to be able to make at least this much per month, your desired profit rate, and then we'll tell you after calculating everything if you're hitting your goal or not. You punch in how much you expect to rent the property for, monthly expenses like servicing company, like an HOA, utilities, insurance, vacancy, and then if you're doing a buy and hold, there's also fields for that. Coming over here, after you've plugged in all that information, you get cost breakdowns for everything, right? Even down to the actual deal stats. So once you plug it all in, we'll tell you how much you can expect to make monthly on the property. Your NOI, your cash on cash return, cap rate, all of that is calculated for you with this tool so that you know right off the bat, is this going to be a good deal? Is this going to be profitable for me or not, right? So that's our creative finance calculator. And then we'll have that in the chat here real soon for you. Let's see. Let me make sure I can get that over to you. I'll post it here. So I want to make sure everybody can use that if they would like. So there it is. It's in the chat. Oh, it looks like it failed to post. Oh, that's why. There might be permissions preventing us from posting links in the chat. So that's probably on us. All right. Anyway, going back to property search and property details, you see a lot of information about the property itself, right? Like, does it have a basement? What kind of air conditioner it has? All of that. Land and lot information, like how large the land is, its classification. MLS details. If it's listed on the MLS, we'll have that information here along with the agent's name and phone number. Tax information, the tax assessment from the previous year. Linked properties. This is really cool because it shows you other properties that are owned by this same owner. And so this way, if they've got other properties on the same street or in the same market, maybe you can work a portfolio deal like you were talking about earlier, right? Foreclosures and liens, if there are any on the property, and mortgages and transaction balances as well. So really everything that you would need to be able to assess the deal. Is it going to work for you? Is it going to be profitable? And, really be able to dial it in from there. Going back to property search, After we've narrowed down that list, we've put in our filters, we just really simply hit this blue create a list button, and this begins our skip trace process, right? So we'll give our list a name, we'll come in here and choose how many or all of the records that we'd like to skip trace, and then we just charge a flat rate of 10 cents per skip trace to get these records for you. Now, one thing that we do offer is the ability to choose how often you'd like your data to be refreshed. So on a lot of other platforms, you're actually double paying for your data. Some people don't realize this, but if you're in the same market and you're pulling things like a pre-foreclosure list and a tax lien list, there are duplicate properties on each of those lists. And so with us, you can choose how often you'd like to refresh. So if you've bought a property record before and it appears on a list that you're pulling here, in the past 2 months, we'd subtract that from the total amount there of the records that are available to skip. And then that way you never have to double pay for data that you've already purchased with us, right? After you've done that, you just hit this blue skip trace button and our system goes to work. It takes a few seconds up to a few minutes to be able to skip trace that list, and then it's populated in the list page, right? This is also where, if you've got your own data, you can just click this import button and match some fields to a CSV file and be able to import lists that you have that are skip traced. And then from there, that brings us into campaigns, and where we kind of started things off today, right? Coming in here to campaigns, you'd be able to create that campaign, choose the lists that you'd like, join them up. We'll be able to do that area code matching for you. And then bam, the AI is off to work for you on your behalf, doing up to 144,000 calls an hour. So really cool. I know we've got a lot of questions here in the chat, and I do want to start going through those. But first, I guess maybe we should cover price, right, Ty? Should we get into that right now? Let's do it. I'm trying to share the right screen here real quick. 1 second. All right. So our pricing, a lot of questions about how much does it cost, right? Where we start at is $98 a month for general access. And what that means is for $98 a month, you get to come onto the platform, you get to use the property search, you get the access to the batch skip tracing, but you also get those 250 free skip traces per month. You get our CRM, everything on the platform that I've showed you today, you get, with the exception of the AI calling. So that happens. Just think about that as just like your subscription fee, your platform access, $98 a month, right? From there, you need the data, right? So either you're going to need to bring in your data that you've purchased elsewhere, or you can go to our property search and you can do that for just 10 cents per record, right? So those are the phone numbers that our AI is going to call. Then you think about, I've went out and got my data. I've now got my phone numbers. Now I'm either going to make these phone calls myself, or I'm going to pay a VA or someone in office to do it, or I'm going to leverage the power of AI and pay auto leads to do it. And that's the AI caller add-on. And this happens in packages, right? So our base package starts with 5,000 credits. And what that means is, going back to the way I explained it at the beginning of the call, that 3-2-1 method, that means we're doing up to 3 phone calls on 2 phone numbers for every 1 property record. So for 5,000 property records, we're making up to 30,000 phone calls on your behalf, right? And so with that, that's that $17.95 per month. You get 5,000 credits to use on calling. Now, it's important to remember that does not include the actual property record, the skip trace, right? So you've got that 10-cent skip trace and then $17.95 a month to do those 30,000 phone calls. We have packages that scale beyond this, right? We've got a 7,500 credit package, a 10,000 credit package. If you're working with a team of people, that's where we recommend that you start. If you're working as an individual, the 5,000 credit package is a great place to start. 10,000 credits is $32.99 every month. And that's going to give you a whole lot more leads, right? And everyone always asks, how many leads can I expect from the platform? Now, I've got to say, results vary, right? We've got to put that disclaimer out there. I can't guarantee anything. And there's so many variables in the real estate markets, right? Someone who's investing in New York City is going to have very different results from someone who's investing in rural Montana, right? Somebody who's going after a probate list is going to have a very different pool of people to go after than those that are going after absentee owners or vacancy, right? It's just highly dependent on market and that filtering down of the data. But what I can say is, on our base package of 5,000 credits, that's this $17.95 a month, we see anywhere from 40 to 120 leads come back on that package, right? And it scales from there. So if you go with a 10,000 credit package, you're looking at 80 to 240 leads that come back. And again, that doesn't take a month to deliver. Remember, all of our campaigns complete in just 3 days, and leads start coming in on the very first day. So you could sign up today, start your campaign, and have leads already generated before you even get to dinner tonight, right? Like, that's the power of AI, is how quickly all this can be at work for you without you having to really do any of the heavy lifting. So that's where the pricing starts there. Now we've got a lot of different options, right? If you're a team out there, if you're looking to scale this, right? Everything that we do is month to month. There's no commitment required at all. And so you're able to come in here and grab a package 1 month, change it, scale it the next month. You can pause your subscription, whatever you need. But then if you're looking to, after you've kind of signed up and see the power, and you realize, like most of our users, as soon as they join, they're like, wow, this is incredible. There's nothing else I need to be doing. I got to double down with auto leads. And you can start seeing that your business is going to use this long term. We do a lot of custom discounts for folks that are doing 3, 6, and 12-month commitments on the platform. And that's not something that's due all at once like a lot of platforms do. In order to get the annual discount, you got to pay for the entire year. We don't do that. It's like a phone plan with us. You just sign an agreement that you're going to keep using the service for a year, and we'll give you the discounts month to month. So that's that. We operate that on a base by base, customer by customer basis, right? Depending on how many credits you're going to be using on those enterprise accounts, where you're using 50, 100,000 credits a month, maybe, right? So just some insights there. We've got a lot of things coming to auto leads. This is just what I like to say. What I just showed you is the worst version of auto leads that there's ever going to be, because tomorrow we're going to push an update. It's going to be even better, right? Every day this product continues to get better. We have a massive product update roadmap of features that are coming. One that we can talk about a little bit right now, that's just kind of a tease. We have a version of this AI. A lot of people ask, even in the chat, can I choose the different voices? Can I choose what the script says? It's not a script. Everything is custom made, and everything is tailored through thousands of hours of research and development. So our script is just one version, right? But the conversation that the AI has, it's only one version. It's geared towards homes right now, but it can work for anybody that owns property. But what we are working on with Ty in a partnership, right, is we're making a custom version just for land. We're really excited about that. It's not out yet, all right, before you go rushing over there. It's not quite here. It's in the works. We're working really hard on it. We're probably thinking maybe 4 to 6 weeks is where we're out from release of that right now. Hopefully I'll be able to deliver that even sooner to you guys, but 4 to 6 weeks is what we're working on right now with that partnership, to be able to have a conversation that's really geared directly towards land. Because obviously I don't need to know about the condition of the bedroom and bathrooms on a land, right? I need to know about, is this a flood zone? What kind of frontage access do I have? Are there utilities on the land already? We're going to be having those kind of conversations here, hopefully in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and definitely stay tuned to the social medias and Ty's channels to be able to get that update when it comes. But really excited about what we have to offer right now, which is the power of AI specifically for you to have all these outgoing calls, right? There's a lot of questions I've seen come through, Ty. I don't know if you've got more to comment here. We'll dive into questions later.
Yeah, I know my people. So let's address the elephant in the room, is this price. And so I know that may lock a lot of people out. So you have to think creatively, like we do with deals. So you may know someone that could fund that, and you let them know, obviously, that nothing is guaranteed, but it's a strong possibility they'll be able to double their money. They put up the initial, we'll just say 1,800 plus the skip tracing, you're talking 2,300, and you just promise them back 4,600. But again, nothing's guaranteed. So because you still have to work the leads, but we have to generate the leads. That's one way. Now, we've only done one so far, but I got several people in, so I just got to put it together, that we call in lead pools or AI pools to generate leads, so we can share in the cost. Now, we're only doing about 4 of those. All right. And so, 4 in a pool at this moment. I think that's a good number to manage. And basically, you're going to leverage pooling the money together that you'll share the profits in along with my group. If you want us to manage everything as far as once the leads come in, we do the follow up. So that's Chevy, Torian, and myself, and everyone associated with us. All right, and so that's the ease of it for you to get into it, because I know a lot of you all are still beginners. Even if you got a deal, you may not still know how to work it or whatever. We're going to take that headache out of us. But the goal is, number one, for you to make some money, a extreme amount of money, hopefully. But at some point, you can just go out on your own. That's always the goal. So that's an option. Now, of course, I'm just giving you the idea. You don't have to do that with us. I'm just saying. So you may be the one that knows what to do, but you got 3 coworkers, friends, family members that would invest X number of dollars to split the initial cost. You don't have to stop at 4. It can be 4, 6, 8, whatever you want to do. Ideally, the more people in, the more you got to answer to. So just understand that. So it may just be you and another person or whatever. And then some of you all, like a few people, they're just one-man gangs. Now I got it, Ty. What do I need to do? We like those too. So there are more options just to say, well, this ain't for me. I'm out. We'll see y'all. I should have gave you this speech before we showed the price, but whatever. So, but anyway, so we can answer questions. But I just wanted to just at least get people thinking in a different way.
Absolutely.
Automatically going to lock them out. So
I would say the majority of questions, well, not majority, but people did have questions about compliance.
Yeah, great. Let me take that. That's great. Thank you for setting that up. I saw that coming through the chat. Wanted to take an opportunity just to just address that. Compliance is a huge part for us, right? We are passionate about making sure that our users are using a tool that's safe for them, right? I can go really in depth in it. I'm going to answer some high level questions, and then I'll just kind of direct people to our terms and conditions, which are at the bottom of our website. If you want to do a deep dive into compliance, we've got everything there for you. But what I will say is that, we've got on retainer the #1 TCPA attorney in the country, and his team has done a review of auto leads all the way down to our code level. Like, we've given him all access, right, to make sure that everything that we're doing is trying to be as compliant as possible in this world, right? You guys know we're in 2024. You and I can pick up the phone today and make some calls ourselves to people, and there could be some not fun stuff that happens, right? People get sued because their coffee's too hot, right? Let alone like you calling somebody. So obviously that can be a risk, but what we try to do is mitigate that as much as we can, right? And so from a compliance standpoint, specifically AI, because that's something that's always changing, and it's something that we're kind of having to navigate a lot, because litigation is coming in for AI. We had somebody mention, the updates that are coming from the FCC, TCPA on robocalling. We are compliant in that because we're actually doing things to stay compliant before laws even drop. So that was a review that happened about 4 weeks ago. We watched that live stream. We were engaged. We've been actively researching and developing how to be compliant when that comes into law in 6 to 8 weeks. And so what that looks like for us is just a little bit of a change on how we introduce our call, right? So instead of saying like, hey, my name's Jerry, I represent a local home investor calling to see if you'd be interested in an offer on your property. Just a little bit of a difference of a change there, where it's going to say, hey, my name's Jerry. I represent Ty's Real Estate. I'm an AI agent and would love to talk to you about your home if you're interested. And if they say, yeah, let's have that conversation, bam, we get that acknowledgement on the call, and that keeps us legal to keep going. We're also, every call, we have developed a proprietary system that every call is actually initiated by a human. And so that's part of the law, actually, that a lot of people don't realize, is that just to be compliant for AI, a human has to actually introduce that call. So as part of our system, we say, hey, here's AI, and we pass over the call. So that's all built into our system. You can rest assured that we take compliance extremely seriously here, and we are constantly trying to stay up to date with the newest changes. That is an ever changing world, right? Because as you know, we're not going to get into politics, but a lot of things changed this year, right? Like just a lot of things happening, a lot of bad actors in AI. That's kind of what has happened before. The government likes to put a blanket on top of AI because of cloning different political voices, and you guys getting calls sounding like other candidates that might be happening, right? That's not a fun time, and that's what we're having to deal with. And so we just keep everything on the up and up. We're transparent about compliance. So if you guys have further questions about that, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to answer them. We've got an article on our website about it. We've got our terms and conditions, so if you guys got questions, we'd be happy to answer them. The best way to reach out to us is to email me, right? Timothy@autoleads.ai. But really, the quickest way to interact with our team is on our website. We have a little chat feature at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, and that is just a little blue circle with a little white rectangle in there. Click on that. That's going to ping myself, the other co-founder, and our staff, and we'd love to answer any further questions. Or, hey, if you want to hop on a call just like this with us to learn more about the platform and how it could be a fit for your particular business, we can do a custom demo for you as well. So reach out to us on that chat if you have further questions on that. We'd be happy to answer them. But hopefully that helps kind of rest assured about compliance. We don't take that with a grain of salt. I mean, honestly, one of our biggest line items is legal because we want to make sure that we're doing everything on the up and up. Awesome. What other questions do we have? I saw somebody else had a question about... one moment, I just saw it. Let me find it there.
Partner.
Are you calling previous clears? Are you all calling previous clears you already reached out to? I think that's callers. Or are you reaching out to brand new calling leads? Address that a little bit. We don't go get leads and then just give them to you. We only make calls on lists that you provide to us, right? So we're not going out. This is not like a lead gen service where our AI is going out there and qualifying people and, hey, you're in a certain market. We're just passing leads over to you and the next guy and the next guy. That's your leads are unique to you. So when you upload that list, the AI extracts that information and gives it to you, just to you. Our databases are encrypted. There's no concern of like anybody else stealing your leads or anything like that. They're owned by you as long as you maintain your account with us, right? And then even after that, we still don't recycle them. If you decide to, you're finished with your wholesaling endeavor, you've made your millions with auto leads already, ready to go live on the beach for a little while, you could deactivate your account and those leads are just cleared from the database. We don't pass them on, nothing like that, right? So just rest assured that they are unique to you every time you upload a list.
I had a question here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to put it on the screen about scrubbing the list. I really appreciate that you added the feature where you could download, like the voicemails and things like that. I think that's going to be really helpful. I know the goal is to get the AI on more calls, right? That's the goal. About scrubbing your list. I mean, do you notice people that are scrubbing their lists previously, or is there a way to like the do not call and the disconnected numbers where we could take those out before you get the AI involved?
So we run an internal, great question, thank you. We run an internal DNC database for auto leads. So if somebody else in your market has already called a lead and they've said, hey, don't call me back, platform-wide, AutoLeads doesn't call that person. So it's scrubbed from your list as well, right? But they have to identify that with us first. So if you're the first person to contact that and they DNC, then that's a part of your campaign. But if somebody else has already done it, we've scrubbed it from yours already. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
As far as like, just the do not call in general, scrubbing those lists, as part of the review that was done by the attorneys and the way in which that we've navigated our outbound call means that we don't have to scrub the DNC list before we make these calls. From our attorney, and we've spent a lot of time and money on this. We're actually an informational survey, right? We're not offering a service. We're not telemarketing, right? And so the DNC list directly relates to telemarketing. And so since we are not doing that, we're classified as a survey. We don't have to scrub the DNC list, which is like 85% of numbers in America are on the DNC list, by the way. So that takes your prospects for leads go down to barely anything. And if you're doing it traditionally where you're calling people and saying, hey, I want to make you an offer, well, that's telemarketing, right? But if you're doing it with our systems, you're getting that, you're getting that survey quality outreach, which allows you to be able to navigate that in a different way. So again, 100% compliant because of our efforts with our attorney to be able to make sure everything that we're saying on that call and even the way in which we make the dial, all the way down to how we built the code, has been, signed off for, to make sure that we're keeping everybody safe and compliant in that. Someone asked, can you change the script of the AI? Meaning, can I change the questions it asks? Not currently, no, because we've spent so just to let's take a step back from that. A lot of the AI callers that are out there are tools that are given to you, and then you have to train them. You've got to like go in there and change the script. You've got to like write it all up, and then some automated voice go exactly what you wrote. That is not how we've made our system. It's not a script. It's an intelligent AI that's trained to be able to do these things, right? So it's not simplicity of just like going and typing in, I want to ask these questions. It's thousands of hours of training to be able to have these conversations and navigate all of the different possible objections, right? So with that, we have spent all of that time already to present this model to you now that we know works extremely well. So you don't have to worry about the headache of, man, what if I needed to add this extra question? Like, it's covered inside of this. If there are additional questions that you would want to be asked, that's a great thing to have on that follow-up call, right? Like, oh yeah, you just spoke with my assistant, Jerry. He talked about, the condition of the property and those bedrooms. I had another question for you about, bam, and you're into it, right? We mentioned that there's a land version that we're working towards. That's going to be coming real soon. That's going to be that second version of the AI that will be automatically trained for you as well to have the best conversation possible about prospects with land.
I had a question from someone, probably an easy question, but JP Motorsport on Instagram says, is there a filter for no HOA, Homeowners Association?
No HOA, not currently. No, we don't have that. No, I'm really bad about just like on demos talking about all the stuff that we've got planned for the platform, because I'm so excited because I get to meet with our devs every day and get to hear about all the different features that we've got coming. So I try not to just say too many things about the features that are coming and just the things that we have, but I will say we've got a massive overhaul coming to our property search as well as our skip trace. And so we're going to be adding a ton more filters. If you can go out there and find a filter somewhere else, we're going to have it on our platform within the next 60 days. It's in that next 2-month sprint as we close out this quarter. We're open to have pretty much every filter that you find it somewhere, you'll have it with us. In addition to our skip trace having an accuracy upgrade, as well as being able to capture email addresses. A little bit of a tease there. We're going to be grabbing email addresses for folks. So think about all those voicemails and hangups and the conversations that you didn't have. What if you could just like click a few buttons and be able to start sending emails to these folks and getting in their inbox and making your offers right there, right? So we're only just getting started at Auto Leads. The AI caller is just the first piece of the puzzle. We've got a lot more coming to the platform as we continue to go throughout this year.
And someone was asking about getting a part of these pools type, but they should text robot to 205-964-5243, right?
Well, that's more or less to send them to access the tool or whatever through my affiliate link. If they are interested in a pool, then I'll throw my email address up here and phone number, and we can discuss that further or whatever. So let me just find the right one. But go ahead, though.
And somebody's actually
even though it says coaching, but whatever, just hit me on the phone number or the email or the email address.
Yeah, and if there's any other questions coming up in the chat too, definitely let us know. We're here to answer anything you guys might have about Auto Leads.
Someone's asking about where do we get the leads. They probably didn't see the beginning of it live, but
yeah, it starts with data, right? So we've got a built-in property search. You can put in your market, filter things down like pre-foreclosures or auctions or vacant properties. You skip trace with us on our platform for 10 cents a record, and then those are the numbers and the lists that our AI then starts to go and call for you. So you can really do it all on the platform. Everything we've really tried to consolidate all this stuff. There's so many different subscriptions, skip tracing, data platforms, VAs, calculators. We're managing all these different subscriptions as investors, and we're trying to just consolidate all of that into one affordable, easy to use platform that really produces results for everybody.
That's amazing.
I'm putting the information back up here again, just adding
and then I think I've got Sergio in the chat too. A great reminder to check out social media as well. We've got a lot of videos out there on our YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, we're up. And so you can look us up at Auto Leads, and even hear customer testimonies from our success from users who've seen success on the platform. You can check out the tutorials about the platform. We've got a 3-day free trial. I didn't even mention this, Ty, but by the way, if you guys are interested in just checking out what we've shown you today, kind of take a test drive in your own market, be able to do the filters, kind of see what we're offering, you can do that. You can visit the website. You can text the code here at the bottom of the screen, text robot to this phone number, and then that way you'll be able to get a link back to go sign up for that free trial, that 205-964-5243. Text robot to that. We'll send you Ty's link, and that way you can go over there, sign up for the free trial, give it a little test drive, see how it rides, right?
Yep. Nice.
We got everybody's questions answered.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great.
We've covered a lot of ground. So
what happened?
We've covered a lot of ground. So
okay. All right, cool. All right, so well, appreciate everyone that joined us today. Other people will see this as it goes into replay mode. Appreciate Tim and Casey presenting there too that we've been using for a couple of weeks now. You'll be hearing more about it as far as results, because I know that's at the end of the day what people are interested in. So it's only been 2 weeks. We do have we do have one particular property on the contract. I'm pretty sure we're going to move, and I normally wouldn't have even targeted that, but it came our way, and I put it in the places where people need to be interested in it, and they want to buy it. So we'll see. When I show it to you, you're going to die. But anyway, but the check still cash the same. So, but with that being said, though, guys, no one else has a question. Tim, do you want to have an ending statement?
Yeah. For sure. Well, again, Ty, guys, thanks so much for having us. We're really grateful for the partnership to work alongside of you guys. Super excited about what's coming with the land version, our partnership with you guys to continue to develop that, to add more value to our customers. We're always trying to create the best customer experience possible. It's not something cheesy that we say. We really stand behind that. And so just really, really thankful to be able to share today. If you guys have any further questions, you can drop them in the chat. Comments of these videos as it goes into replay mode. We'll be hanging out here as well in the comments to answer questions. But as always, you can visit autoleads.ai, OTTOLEADS.ai, or text the word robot to 205-964-5243. There's a chat icon at the bottom right-hand side of the window. That's the best way to reach us. If you've got any question at all, just reach out to us there. We'll connect with you and make sure we answer anything that you guys have. But just super excited and thankful for you having us on today, man. We love hanging out.
No problem at all. So again, if you want to create a lead pool partner with us, then you can just email me. Ideally, you can call me too, whatever. But email Ty@dealator.com, and I'll explain it to you in more detail on how that works. But it reduces the cost tremendously and gets you in the game really quick using this particular tool. You're on some cutting edge stuff here. I knew it was coming, and it's here. So anything you want to share, the real Chevy?
In the building. But yeah, man, Auto Leads, it's crazy right now. Just it's simple, easier conversations. And just understand, guys, if y'all want to partner up with us, we're working for you guys. So our goal is to make sure that the money that's spent is spent is well spent. So we're working on deals. So all you're doing is you're just putting up money, and we're doing the heavy lifting. So I'm constantly on the phone talking to sellers, vetting deals, negotiating with sellers, taking it to the finish line, and all you gotta do is sit back and collect a check. Nothing is guaranteed. I gotta do full disclosures. Nothing is guaranteed, but knowing what I know and doing what I do, I know I could definitely close a few deals for sure, without a doubt.
Boom. All right. So really appreciate everyone that joined us today. If you were live, great. If you're seeing this in a replay mode, even better. So with that being said, guys, I guess we'll be back on Monday. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be back Monday. I got to go back. Anyway, we'll figure it out. So, but again, appreciate Tim from Auto Leads checking us out, and Jim Mowing. They're amazing too. So text Robot if you want to sign up for it just on your own. Again, we are doing the lead pools with up to 4. We can do 2, we can do 3, or whatever. But ideally, we
could do one.
Or
we could do one as well.
A one-man gang. I don't need
Yes,
nobody
sir.
else. I like those 2 or whatever. So just hit me up if you're more interested in about that. And thanks. And we will see you guys on the flip side.
Flip man, it's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your